Sultan Parrot. Obsessed with the treasures buried in the fiery sands of the desert's arid plain, the Sultan Parrot would not rest until all were claimed under his crown. The royal advisors of the palace protected their leader as best they could, knowing how volatile this exotic creature could become. They respected the Sultan's wishes, but when he heard that a treasure beyond all treasures was buried in a cave known only to the ancients, they had no choice but to prepare for his new conquest. The Sultan was convinced that any treasure described as a treasure beyond was one that he was entitled to. The parrot's loyal advisors soon discovered that the cave could only be entered by the reigning Sultan and the reigning Sultan alone. Once inside, this treasure would be bestowed, and he would become the richest ruler the world had ever known. The Sultan did not waste another moment. Setting off into the blackest of nights, they travelled across the dunes until they arrived at the mouth of this promising cave. There, his advisors wished him luck, and with self-assured regality, the Sultan entered the dimly lit cave. He was led down a narrowing passageway until he found himself in front of a delicate, crystalline waterfall. Slightly confused, he moved towards the flowing feature and peered into the pool to see if the treasure was scattered across its crystal bed, but when the Sultan peered over the edge, he was met only with a reflection of himself. "What trickery is this?" he squawked angrily. "How dare you mock me in this way?" At which point, the parrot's flustered reflection rippled away to reveal an older, wiser Sultan staring back at him. The young Sultan was instantly humble in the presence of this unexpected stranger. "1,000 pardons, your Majesty," he pleaded. "I had no idea you were an enchanted waterfall. I beseech that you grant me the treasure beyond all treasures." The older, wiser Sultan smiled, and even beneath the moving ripples of the water's constant flow, he remained still and calm. "The greatest treasure that I can give is one of wisdom and an ancient wish. You see, I was once a lot like you, obsessed with power and riches too, until one day I saw it all. My reign as king and kingdom fall. Unkind to all my people's needs, I kept them caged instead of free. Revolting there, they seized my crown, for I had let my people down. Now promise me, as well you should, that you have heard and understood what it means to love and learn, and I'll bestow the treasure yearned. Take a look at the face that you see, for I am you, and you are me. Now return to your kingdom with love in your heart, a spine of strength and wisdom to part. For you are a sultan, a king, and a god. Now reign with kindness, leave no one unloved. Treasure the promise you've made to yourself. Be a great leader, never settle for less. For the greatest gifts we acquire through life are the ones that are ancient and the ones that are right. So be like the ancients and learn from their tales. History repeats where foresight has failed. Be a great sultan, and riches don't measure, for the richest of sultans are the ones who are treasured." And with that, the mystical sage faded away, leaving the young sultan staring at his own reflection once more. With this sacred promise embedded in his heart, the enlightened parrot left the cave a much wiser leader than he had entered. You'll be pleased to learn he lived out the rest of his days loved by his people, and therefore richer than he had ever dreamed possible.